What it comes down to is you just kind of have to show up and hope you don't die. I wanted to talk to you about something today that I have been dealing with for the last 2 months probably. It's been something that's been pretty consuming and pretty difficult for me to deal with. It's been difficult for me to talk about too, because I kind of tend to internalize things and I don't even know, especially with this, like why I've been feeling this way. But I wanted to share it with you because I don't know if it's common, I don't know if it's uncommon, but it was just something where this is where I'm at and I want to be transparent about that. I've struggled a lot. I've struggled internally and emotionally more than I really ever thought I would. And I know that from the beginning, like I definitely fought it. I definitely was just like, I don't know, like I don't really like this. I don't really want to do this. And I think throughout the whole thing, like there were definitely some weeks where I really trained well and where I really saw results. And so I was really excited about training. But then there were also like so many days and so many weeks where I just was miserable. I just didn't want to do it. And that was hard for me. And I think it was hard for me as well because I couldn't really pinpoint, like there really was no reason. There was no real genuine reason why I didn't like it or why I shouldn't be enjoying this. But for whatever reason, I just wasn't there. It's been a ride. I think it's been hard for me because I don't really know how I'm feeling and I don't really know how to process everything that I'm feeling and that I'm going through. And I wasn't expecting it. I really was just kind of expecting it to be like, this is an off season. This is like, you know, we're just training, we're just getting stronger. But I've been so emotionally invested in this whole prep that for whatever reason, I'm internalizing this as like something so much deeper than what I intended it to be. Most days, I don't really know how to deal with it. There have been plenty of times where I have just been so stressed out and so anxious about it and so upset about it that I don't want to do it. I want to check out. And there have been a couple times where I really genuinely thought I'm done. And it's not even my inability to be excited about this. Like, I'm excited to compete and I'm excited that I'm doing this. I just I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's I'm nervous. And so I just keep trying to get in my head and tell myself like, this could go wrong, this could go wrong, that could go wrong. Or I'm just anxious because I don't know what's going to go on and what's going to happen. And I've never done it. So I'm just kind of hyping myself up about it. Because I don't really think it's that I genuinely dislike this style of training. I love the bodybuilding aspect of it. I love to deadlift. I enjoy squatting. When my body cooperates, I enjoy squatting. I am starting to understand my mechanics in the bench press, and so bench press is becoming more enjoyable for me. So it's not even that I dislike powerlifting. It's not that I hate these movements. It's not that I hate this training. So it's almost more of a fear. It's a fear of the unknown. It's a fear of disappointing myself or other people. It's a fear of not doing as well as I had hoped or anticipated. And so I think that for me, it's just super important to overcome that fear. And regardless of when I compete or if I compete, it's just important to acknowledge that I am scared. I am really scared, and I didn't expect to be scared or nervous or anxious. But I am, and that's okay. All I can do is continue to show up every day and put in the work and try and get through those days where I don't want to do it and where I've kind of already told myself that I'm checked out, and show up and be ready to compete when I do compete. You know, I think it's just important to not give up on it, and I think it's important to see it through. I think if nothing else, I owe it to myself, and I want to overcome that fear, because it's something that's just been so consuming this whole entire time. Especially as I've gotten closer to the actual date of competition, I've just kind of started to freak out a little bit more, and I've just had moments where I'm like, I'm not ready. No, I don't want to do this. No, I can't do this. Which I think is probably pretty normal. But I don't know. I just keep letting it get to me. And that is not okay. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know. I'm not usually a big worrier. Like, I'm super laid back. Whatever happens, happens. And I know that. Like, in my mind, I know that, like, regardless of what happens, it happened. And I cannot control the outcome of that situation. But I still worry about it. And I still am scared. And I'm still anxious. And I'm still nervous. And I don't think that there's anything that I can do differently other than what I'm doing now. But if you have any tips, let me know. Listen, I'm just trying to be ready on game day. And if I'm not, I'm still going to show up. And I'm going to kill it. And if I don't, I'm still probably going to eat a whole pizza by myself. Eat like at least 2 burgers, 7 burritos from Chipotle with chips and guac. And that's fine. It is meet week, technically. If you follow along on Instagram, you know that I have been doing quite a bit of weightlifting the last couple weeks, and very little powerlifting. So that being said, we kind of made a decision a couple weeks ago that right now just isn't the right time to compete. I have been dealing with some injuries that have been nagging injuries for years. They are things that have happened in the past that I still deal with today. Unfortunately, that's just the name of the game. I was really hoping to compete just because I put a lot of effort into it. I put a lot of time. I took 6 months to get ready for this and to prepare. So it's a little disappointing. I think eventually I will compete in powerlifting. Hold me to that. I really do want to do it just to have the experience, to be able to experience the prep, and be able to experience what it's like to compete in another strength sport. So I do think that I will compete eventually. I don't know when that will be. I don't know when we will carve out some time to do that. I definitely want to continue training that style in some sense. I don't want to do it every single day. I want to do weightlifting. I love weightlifting. I love the training for weightlifting, much more than I really have fallen in love with the training for powerlifting. So I want to continue to incorporate it in little ways, and adding a bench press as an accessory to the rest of my lifting, incorporate more conventional deadlifts, definitely work a lot of squat technique. Thankfully, squats are something that are really big in weightlifting, and that help us a lot as weightlifters. So I will continue to squat as much as possible, as much as my body allows me to, and I will also deadlift regularly, I promise that, and hopefully one day be a decent bench presser. It was an experience. I'm glad I did it. I have to put it into perspective in that this was an off season for me. This was an off season where I could take time away from weightlifting. I could get stronger, I could get better, I could improve my weightlifting ability and skills and strength doing something outside of weightlifting. It was really disappointing and really hard to make that decision that we just weren't where we needed to be or where we wanted to be in order to compete this weekend. And it is what it is. It was hard at first. I was sad. And I wasn't expecting to be so emotionally attached to it. I kind of expected that I was going to be like, see you later, powerlifting. And I was sad. I went home and was just like sad. But I also knew that my body wasn't healthy. I knew that I wasn't in a good place mentally or emotionally to do it. And I also knew that I didn't want to go and compete just to do it. I wanted to do the best that I knew I could do, and it just wasn't in the cards to do that this weekend. I learned a ton. I got to bond with some of my friends who were powerlifters. I think I'm better for it. I think emotionally and mentally, you know, I'm a different athlete now. Powerlifting is not over. My powerlifting journey is not over. It will make a return. It's just not right now. So it's not a goodbye. It's a see you later, powerlifting.